Just Pearl. She had that interview with Nick Fuentes.
Yeah.
That guy MTR is upset with it because Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is because he thinks Nick Fuentes is racist, and he's saying that Pearl has black people in her team and got him on and other people, so she should be more conscientious of like your thing is.
The critique that you had of her was actually a good critique. She doesn't go in depth when it comes to talking about certain things. She likes the whole reaction, the whole. She became upset. I said something to trigger that person.
Yeah,
she's more into that type of stuff.
She's just looking at the
surface, not the. What's the workings and what's really happening. Type of thing. Okay. Yeah, I like Midio tutorials.
Yeah, I like him as well. That's why I'm shocked with this thing. But let's check it out.
I wish you luck, and I don't.
Wow.
I really don't. I don't wish luck to racists.
Oh, I'm not racist.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Nick.
Yeah, I am a little bit racist.
And the Italians, we do not claim you.
Oh, hey, the Italians don't claim you. You're the one dating a black guy.
I'm not going to beat around the bush for this conversation, and I'm going to get straight to the point. Pearl, you f***ed up. You knowingly invited a white supremacist and a self-proclaimed racist onto a platform which is primarily supported by, at least initially, and produced by black people. This comes across as insensitive to downright nasty. And I want to be clear, it's not just inviting said person to the conversation that's upsetting, because conversations with people who don't agree with each other or don't agree with a particular position, if done in a healthy way, can promote civil discourse. But your up was to not only not defend the people who help create the content on your platform, but to also push a narrative that is insensitive and damaging to those very same people. Pearl, you know that your staff is mostly black people. And I'm talking about from a production perspective as well as a talent perspective. You also know that the majority of your content utilizes black people talking about black relationship issues. You could have had black people sitting in the same room with this person in order to combat some of the hellacious things that were coming out of his mouth, or to have a different perspective that would have lent itself well to demonstrate the respect for the people that watch your content and that you employ. I don't think that your platform would be as big as what it.
I haven't heard anything yet.
What do you mean? You haven't heard anything? What, from Nick Fuentes?
He called him a white supremacist.
Yeah.
Why is he a white supremacist? He said, you're helping to push a narrative. What is the narrative? So far, he hasn't addressed the narrative. So far, he hasn't addressed what makes him a white supremacist. And the clip that he had at the beginning, that was, you know how clips can be taken out of context.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the full story. Because I actually watched that interview.
Yeah.
And he didn't mean that in the way that he's trying to, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's very, he is very big on, let's get the full context. Let's get the full story. And then let's make an informed opinion.
I think, accountability is a big part of.
Right now, he accused him of being a white supremacist. He accused her of bringing her to his platform, and he accused Just Pearly success on black people. He basically said, you're only successful because of, black people. That's why you're successful. I haven't heard what the outrage is supposed to be about yet.
Yeah, me neither.
Is a white supremacist. Okay, what makes him a white supremacist? What has he said that makes him a white supremacist? What? Because he's I think he's of race. Like from what I know of Nick Fuentes, he's a race loyalist. I've met loads of black people that are race loyalists. They are loyal to their own race.
Yeah.
They would rather procreate with their own race rather than most people, in fact, most races, date within their own race.
Yeah, well, this comes to a point where it's okay for non-whites to say, I wanna stick within my race. But when a white person says that they want to stick within their race,
it's a problem.
It's white supremacist.
It's white supremacy.
It's white supremacy.
So I need him to elaborate. I need him to give him more examples. Maybe he will. We don't know. But I need him to give him more examples of what makes Nick Fuentes a white supremacist. Okay? Because if we are talking about, if the issue is dating within your own race, well, 80% of every single race dates within its own race. And only 20% really step out of it, even less than that. And most races want people to date within their own race anyway. Whether that's Indian, whether that is Chinese, whether they all want them to date within their own race. So what is the issue? That's what I want to know.
Okay, let's see.
It is today if it wasn't for the essential utilization of black people, black relationship topics, and black talent. And the talent came from all over when you include the likes of an Andrew Tate, all the way down to a Brittany Renner. And even from a content creator perspective, from me to a Melanie King, to a Sarah Garvey, to a King Riches, to an Auntie Jenny. So for those just unaware of what's been going on, Pearl has recently come under fire for these particular comments.
I'm trying to get my Africans in America, my Africans. Oh gosh.
Oh boy.
They're gonna be in trouble. This sounds similar to the slavery stuff too, because that's literally the founder of, or the guy who made Roots said, I wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do, is they embellish. And I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible. It was.
Right.
But they want to make it like more horrible so that they can control people.
Now, what's crazy is that I came across these comments while I was live streaming a couple of days ago. And what started out as a laughy, jokey live stream where I wanted to talk about my time up in London quickly diverted to one of the worst live streams that I've ever had in my life. And honestly, it was a trip to hell as I discovered the magnitude of the conversation that she had with this figure by the name of Nick Fuentes. Specific to the comments regarding slavery being embellished, I said this on the stream and I maintain it today that Pearl needs to be held responsible for this comment. Likening a quote from the writer of Roots explaining a myth for his people to hold on to does not negate the documented history of the atrocities that happened to black people. And I'd argue that Roots was a light depiction of the savagery that my forefathers had to go through to ensure that I would be here today. But let me explain a little bit further how thoroughly that this actually is, because for me, it comes down to a question of ethics. You're interviewing a known Nazi sympathizer and an anti-black creator and not offering any pushbacks whatsoever. And in fact, you're adding in your own fake news regarding the embellishment or the exaggeration of slavery. Additionally, there are times within the conversation where it's laughy, it's jokey, it's kikiing, especially when you got specific in certain comments that reflected on CP time. And let me also say this, is that generally CP time is something that's laughed amongst people of melanation, but it's not taken as a joke when you're doing it with a person who is a self-proclaimed racist. Now that I've had the opportunity to digest all of the information, now that I'm not on live stream with thousands of people looking at me, and in the back of my mind, thinking towards the tens of thousands that are waiting for the perfect reaction from me, I begin to question why you didn't sympathize with the plight of African Americans or black people in general. And not once in the interview did you have at least one pro-black stance or some form of ethical defense or cultural sensitivity for the people who carry your production machine forward, or the people that you know that watch your channel. That's questionable.
He's angry at a white person for not taking a pro-black stance against Nick Fuentes.
Because she hires black people. Do you see what I'm saying?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Because she hires black people. What's wrong with hiring black people?
Nothing.
What's wrong with a black person hiring white people? Nothing.
Nothing.
So what's the issue? Yeah. Like is using that as an excuse. Now he mentioned the Roots. How much do you know about the Roots?
No, I don't know what that is. Apart from the hip hop band.
What was it? A movie or something like that, right? She's saying that she tried to embellish or try to make slavery look worse than what it, you know what I mean? Do you know what I think needs to happen with people? People need to start reading what really took place during slavery. Because to me, it's the same arguments that's, you know, Kanye West and the whole, issue with the Jews and all of that type of stuff, right? Yeah. And him being banned from every single platform. Was he banned from every single platform, or he lost businesses?
Yeah, but funnily with that, he's accusing Nick Fuentes of being a neo-Nazi and anti-black, but Nick Fuentes works for Kanye West.
Yes, and Nick Fuentes.
So how can he be anti-black if he works for?
And Nick Fuentes admitted that he likes black women. He actually finds black women attractive. On that interview that he's still what they were doing is, you see, whenever you talk about anything, you have to be specific and you have to have some level of knowledge on it. What I've noticed is a lot of people will talk about slavery and they don't actually know what took place in slavery. They don't actually know the history. They don't know how it started. They don't actually know the inside, the facts. They just stick to this emotional. It's almost like you're not allowed to say anything about that because I have a different opinion from you. It's when I don't want to get what happened. No one is saying that slavery isn't evil. Okay, it's evil. All right, and I don't think that she would have tried and make light of the issue. Do you see what I'm saying? But to accurately speak about something these days is perceived as something bad because it hurt my feelings. Same thing that happened to Kanye West. He expressed how he felt. Okay, to me, the words that he used was a bit, you know what I mean, like he shouldn't have used that type of language. But apparently, it was done on purpose to get attention or whatever. You know what I mean? But anyways, if you mention anything in regards to that, do you see what I'm saying? You get cancelled, or if you're big enough in the, you get cancelled, you get what and whatnot. It's almost as if we can't talk about and give our opinion, and be critical about anything because this group of people will feel offended. This group of people will feel offended. And I'm like, it all comes down to how much knowledge you have on the subject and how much do you actually know about what took place and what didn't take place. Do you see what I'm saying? Right now, he's not offering. Okay, why What did she say that was wrong? What is it? This is what I want to know. What did she actually say that was, okay, you know what did she make fun of slavery? I don't think she makes fun of slavery. So what's the issue?
The only issue that I can get from this so far, we're only like 6 minutes in, is that she's not taking a pro-black stance because she has lots of employees that are black. And the other thing about this so far is him making this video is just proving Pearl right that about it embellishing slavery or exaggerating slavery to keep control. It just kind of shows a bit of hypersensitivity on this issue.
Yeah, if you it's like, okay, whether someone exaggerates something or not, it depends on how knowledgeable you are on the topic. Okay, if you're extremely knowledgeable on the topic, you will know whether someone is exaggerating or not exaggerating. But it depends on your knowledge on the topic. But he's made an accusation.
Yeah.
All right, back it up. You know what I'm saying? Give me something to say, okay, she was wrong because this. She made light of this issue and this was wrong because of this. But to me, all I'm hearing is I felt offended, so therefore I'm going to, speak out against Pearl, just Pearl. But hold on a second. Aren't we living in a society where we're supposed to be able to have different opinions and still respect each other? Well, I want to talk. I want to talk to a racist one day, or a person that really believes that, really hates me for my race, because I've encountered both. I've encountered black people that don't like the fact that I'm mixed race, and I've encountered white people that don't like me because they call me black. Even though I'm a mixed race. So I've encountered racism from both sides. They don't like my race for whatever reason. But I don't hate them. To me, that's just a symptom of sin. It's just like, okay, for whatever reason you don't like my race, okay, cool, whatever. Let's move forward. Now, if those people were attacking me personally, they were stopping me from getting a job, then that would be something completely different. But if it's just a question of you not liking me, why can't we sit down and have a chat and find out why it is that you don't like me? I don't expect everyone to like me. And people shouldn't expect everyone to like them either. I don't get it.
Let's continue. See what he has to say.
At the very least, and it shows to me a degree of misguided that you are regarding our culture, and that you have some introspection to do, and you have to find a newfound respect for understanding more about the people that work for you, or who a component of the content is made for. The embellishment of slavery is where you display the true level of your insensitivity and lack of understanding about the culture that you have immersed yourself in, whether you like it or not. Pearl, at the end of the day, you f***ed up. I completely, as I said on that stream, denounce your statements. And I believe that you need to be held completely accountable for your words and your actions. And I want you to do it for the sake of my history, for the sake of my community, for the sake of my audience, and the people who have followed me and will continue to follow me, Pearl. The people that found you through my channel because of these actions. And Pearl, we had a one-on-one conversation before I recorded this video. And I told you I can no longer work with you. We had a dating show that was in the pipeline, and I was super excited about releasing this content on your platform and then cutting it up and putting it up on my platform and reacting to it. We did great content up there. But along with these statements that have come up, I no longer feel comfortable in having that dating show footage released along with the other content that was recorded up there onto your platform. I plan in the future not to release more content up onto the channel regarding my time in London. And to be honest, frankly, it really sucks because I had a lot that I wanted to be able to speak about. And again, to my community, to my audience, to the people who have followed me and will continue to follow me into the future, I have to take personal accountability for my working relationship with Pearl. And trust me when I say I take full ownership and full accountability. I had absolutely no idea of the comments that were made in the Nick Fuentes interview. And had I known this prior to, I would not have gone to London. I did not know about this until I came back. And then I went and did a live stream, and then my supporters let me know. For everyone else out there who's ever supported the platform and sent super chats, and for everyone who has been affected by this situation, like I said, I take full accountability. For those of you guys that have
he's actually proving her right, but we're nearly there. Let's continue.
Followed my platform for a long time, do understand that I've selected, at least I thought I've selected, with a fine-tooth comb who I have chosen to work with. If you guys already know, it hasn't been a lot of people, okay? I've also have a no beef policy on my platform because I think it does us no good to continue to promote fights and spats. I'm all about delivering value at the end of the day. But as a man in this space, I got to take full ownership and full accountability. And along with my accountability, this is now my definitive stance. I can no longer support or associate myself with the Just Pearly Things platform. And for those who still wish to continue to support voices of women that are down into the space who agree with the particular message that we put up on Jump Street, I want you guys to go check out and follow the following female content creators. All right, I got a list of their names right here. Don't want to forget anybody. Chantel Simone, The Crimson Cure, Danica Marie, Six the Goddess, Melanie King, and of course, Shahrazad Ali. Questions, comments, concerns? Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. What you guys think about this particular conversation? Leave your comments down below. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Until next time, YouTube. Peace!
I wish you luck. And,
I don't.
Wow.
I really don't. I don't wish luck to racists.
Oh, I'm not racist.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Nick.
Yeah, I am a little bit racist.
I know.
But listen, but it's not because I hate people. I love people. It's just race is real. Race is real. Race is a part of us. So, hey, it is what it is.
And the Italians, we do not claim you.
Oh, hey, the Italians don't claim you. You're the one dating a black guy. The Italians don't claim me. They don't claim you.
Oh, no, they claim me. They claim me.
I don't think so.
They do.
No,
Italian guys, yeah.
Italians,
Tell an Italian guy about your
lovers.
affinity for black guys. That'll go over real well.
Good one, Nick.
Maybe some brajol. There's some Italian
No,
for
but
you.
I will make my black boyfriend some of that.
Ugh, wow. You don't know any better.
The thing is,
Oh, good.
I'm not like I told you last week. I'm not a big Just Pearl fan, and I don't really watch her stuff or any of her affiliates just because there's other stuff that I watch that I feel they just go over the same topics of some of the other red pill content that I watch. So for me, when I watch that, I feel like I'm just watching a copycat. So I don't really go in for it. But on this occasion, I have to say that I think this guy's wrong. I think he's been oversensitive on this issue. He's kind of bowing down to his supporters who are saying certain things in his chat. He's got people in his ear, and he's made this video, and he thinks he's gonna, he's standing up for the right thing. But at the end of the day, if someone's got different views to you, get them on and let's discuss it.
Because we live in is it victim culture. I'm a victim. In a culture where everyone has to like you, everyone has to understand your feelings. Everyone has to Do you understand what I'm saying? This is the type of culture that we live in, and he's just reacting to that culture. Race. I call these people, what Nick Fuentes is pointing out is that is pointing out a reality, and one of the realities is called race. Race is a reality in the world, and all of us, including black people, are race loyalists. Okay, and this is why we all 80% of each race marry within its own race, because we are all race loyalists. Nick Fuentes pointing that out doesn't make him a racist. First of all, Nick Fuentes is a Catholic. For him to be a racist, he would be going against the Bible itself. Okay, he's a Christian, bro. He can't be racist. He knows, and he's someone who takes the faith serious as well.
He takes it serious.
He's no joke. You know what I mean? He's not out here having sex outside marriage. He's not out here doing what and whatnot. But we live in such a sensitive world, such a sensitive Western world, that that will negate reality over people's feelings. So someone's opinion can hurt your feelings now. Someone who has an opinion contrary to yours is a problem now, because you hurt my feelings. Not because you've actually analyzed what that person is saying and actually understood what they're saying. And whether that person says something that you like or don't like is neither here nor there. You should be able to hear what a person has to say. And just because they said something you don't like, you should be able to understand, okay, not everyone's going to agree with me. People are going to have different opinions about different things. And it's okay. Society can't coexist unless you are able to speak to a person who has a different opinion from you. Unless you can have a civil discourse with a person who has a different opinion from you, society cannot exist. So what I want to know, he mentioned slavery embellishment. He accused Pearl of basically embellishing slavery. So making light of slavery. That's not what I got from what she was saying. That's not what I got. And I need to see the full context, because I watched it time ago. Do you see what I'm saying? But I didn't get that. You know, that.
Yeah, I didn't get that. I actually watched this one as well, and I didn't get that as well.
I didn't get that she was embellishing slavery or making light of slavery and all of that. And that was highly edited as well. You see what I'm saying? Look, how many movies have we seen? Oh, you're marrying outside your real race, especially in the black community. Marrying outside, you're marrying a person that's not black. That's not black. Like, it's a problem. It's a problem. So if the Italians have that stance, that doesn't make them racist. If the Italians think it's so, they should only marry within their own race, that doesn't make them racist. If the Arabics think that they should only marry within their own race, if any African country, we should only marry within it, that doesn't make you racist. That makes you a race loyalist.
Well, it seems like if every race actually thinks like that, which from what you're talking about is true, it's a natural human phenomenon rather than a racist thing.
Than a racist issue. But he wants to make it into a racist issue because he believes that his feelings. Well, I think people go in his ears. I think because he did the show, right, at London, and he goes back to America. Just Pearls does the interview with Nick Fuentes. The interview comes out. A bunch of people get triggered by it because he just was in London just a second. You know, they started getting on his DMs and saying, "Well, are you going to speak out against this? Are you going to what and whatnot?"
Turning it into an issue.
Yeah. And in order for him to keep his fan base, guess what he's going to do? He's going to go out there and he's going to basically attack Just Pearls. Okay? Just Pearls having people work for her, having black people work for her, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
What's the issue with that? What's the race issue?
This is what doesn't make sense. And
what? She's even said on the channel she likes black guys. She prefers black guys. So what's the what? People can't like who they like.
the issues he is having with her is that because she employs so many black people and talks about issues in the black community, she should take a pro-black stance against Nick Fuentes, which is just crazy to me.
But hold on a second. She doesn't talk about just the black community. She doesn't even talk about the black community. She talks about the Western world in general. She doesn't talk about the black community. She talks about the entire Western world.
She talks about feminism more than anything, I think.
Exactly.
And she's a woman, so where does that? What happens there now?
Yeah, exactly. It's just that the people occupying the space, tends to be a lot of black people that occupies the space and talks a lot about. Look at Fresh and Fit. Look at all these podcasts. Look at the people that come onto these podcasts. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So she's got people that work for her that basically recruit people to come in, and then they have a chat. But that's not her targeting a certain section of society, or a certain group of people, in order to have them in their show, in order for her to become successful. It's like, okay, whoever wants to come in, come in. I don't get it. Yeah, bro. I don't get it. Crazy indeed.